All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. How's it going?
Hopefully, everything sounds okay and works okay here. I'm on a new computer here. This is
Is
not like
it?
this is not my main computer. My main computer is my editing computer, but I've moved that
Mhm.
upstairs. So for
This is like a budget capture computer that you
it
picked
kind
up.
of is a budget computer. I mean, it was like $500 to $600 in parts, roughly.
Hmm.
Um, It only uses a GTX 1650 Super, which they for years they've done like the TI line, which is like a somewhat better version of a certain tier of card, and now there's also like the Super that comes later, which is I don't think quite as boosted as the TI, but they also have like some like new architecture over just like the vanilla 1650 or 1660, for example. Um, and the 1650 Super has uh, Turing architecture or whatever. I don't know exactly what all that entails, but I learned from Epos Vox that it does this new kind of uh, NVIDIA encoding. There has been NVIDIA hardware support encoding, but like there's a new kind that is support on the Turing cards.
Okay, so it's basically only on these new ones.
Only in the newest ones, but I kind of asked them a few questions, like what would get me in the door of just building a computer that could. I don't care about gaming on. I don't care about editing on. All I care about is recording and streaming video, and I want to
Right.
be able to do 4K 60 without dropping frames and breaking a sweat. And
Right.
he said, "Oh, 1650 Super. That's really all you need. You just need that Turing architecture."
Hmm.
So so this is actually the first, even though it's not like a high bitrate encode or anything. This is actually the first encode or stream of any kind I've done on it. I just spent the past hour plus making sure everything was good to go for
So
streaming.
this is it's a first run, I guess, and
Yeah,
anything really demanding. So
yeah.
hopefully, if there's any issues, just let us know.
Yeah. So right now, like the kind of the main purpose of this computer, I know I've explained before, but I've moved my office upstairs. I am in the process of like moving like all my analog stuff. That's not analog the company. That's like actual analog video output systems going upstairs into like a dedicated room for that technology. And I'm going to capture all that kind of stuff through the OSSC on my main editing computer.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm leaving like all my HDMI consoles downstairs, so I still need to be able to capture those. And my old computer wasn't capable of doing 4K 60, so that's why I built a new computer. So down here is just for HDMI systems. So my analog stuff is mostly kind of unhooked right now, so I'm kind of locked to capturing HDMI on this computer, and then hopefully, like you know by the end of next week, possibly I might have at least some analog stuff hooked back up. I think I'm going to need some new cables, and I noticed Retro Access is on December break. So
Hmm. A
I
well-deserved break.
oh yes, absolutely. But I don't even know what cables I need yet because I don't know how things are going to reach, and I might actually be good. I know I at least want to get that Dreamcast cable.
Hmm.
But the other cables I have, right now I'm just not really sure what's going to reach, what's not. So we're going to see, but I have to get some holes drilled. So my dad's bringing his hole saws next week, and we're gonna get that get that figured out for getting my systems actually hooked up. So
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's you moved everything up there because you wanted to have a better separation between work and your life. I
yeah,
guess.
at least like so that like I could just like walk away from it in the evening
Mhm.
because
Right.
my living room was my office.
Right.
And that was I should have seen that as a big it should have been obvious that that's a big problem, but like, you know, I moved here to this house a year before we started the channel. And like so living room was of course that's where I'm hooking up my video games, you know?
Well, yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
it's,
mean,
it's
it
just
seems
what I
like
was going to do. And then we started the show, and at first it was, you know, much more casual. You know, the computer I built, I had built for like mid-tier gaming. It really wasn't meant to be an editing computer. And, you know,
Right.
so I sort of like fit that into the setup I already had. And, so I just integrated the show into the setup that was down here, and then the setup evolved and the show evolved, but it all stayed in this room.
and
And
just slowly expanded and took over the entire area.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. It very much did. I mean, it got to the point where I had to go to 2.1 sound because I didn't have room for surround speakers anymore. One of the things I'm
Right.
excited about is, you know,
Sure.
getting now that I've basically got the analog stuff uprooted and moving upstairs, and now I can relay out the HDMI stuff. I'm going
And you're moving
to.
all your game shelves up there too, right?
Yes, I am. I was actually working on ensuring I have room for that today because
Right.
it's going to be a tight fit for the shelf that you can see behind me. That's where I've got all the Nintendo games, and that shelf is like
It's gonna be tighter than Vulcan Raven in the tank in Metal Gear Solid up there.
it's gonna be so tight to fit that shelf in between the door to like the utility closet and the air conditioning control on the wall. Like it's gonna be like it will probably physically touch that thing. So I'm gonna be interested to see how it'll work. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get all of the shelving up next week because I'm actually probably gonna have to buy a thing or two. But I'd at least like to get that shelf up. Start to get the systems hooked up. But yeah, the carpet was installed Wednesday. So like that just I've been recording bits and pieces of the whole process, and that's going to become a video, you know, hopefully in just the first couple of months of next year. That'll just sort of show this process of how things are going to be hooked up now. And
Yeah.
I'm excited about it because, you know, it's kind of a much needed update of
Right.
you know, our setup, which is now has vaguely resembled anything like what we've had before, and now it will even be more so. But I am so happy with the room. I can't wait to show it off because like like everything about it is just like everything I dreamed and more. So. All right. Well, should we start?
Yeah, let's get started. I think that a lot of
start
people
playing?
don't know what you're playing tonight because you originally we tried to use the new YouTube's new interface for playing for live streaming, and it sucks. So
Yeah, I couldn't like I made an event that had like the thumbnail and the name and everything, and
yeah, is this a 4-3 game?
it is. I
Interesting.
actually see there. You know, here's you know the widescreen interface, and what's cool is I got the Oniken and Duddleson physical cartridge from Play Asia. Which you know it puts them on one cartridge, but it adds 2 tiles to your Swish
Right. Well,
dashboard, so you can launch each one
the
directly.
Final Fantasy dual pack does as well.
Yeah, and I've run across what was it? Oop.
Well, some other things do it as well.
Yeah,
I think that this is not out in the U.S.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think Play Asia published it. I think this was
Right. But I know that it's on the eShop as coming out sometime in December. But
you don't think the game is out at all?
Well, in the U.S. it's not, at least. Oh,
yeah, this is a
$9.99 donation from Sean Quinn. Thank you. He says, with only a couple shopping weeks left, my wife is getting impatient, asking me what I'd like. I love books, especially large art type books.
Wow.
You guys have a favorite retro game book with pixel art? All the bitmap books are excellent. I did kind of a half read through of the Master System one as like a video log like months ago. It's excellent. But I think they just came out with a Metal Slug one as well. But they have a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, I really like the video game console by Evan Amos.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's not pixel art, but if you don't have it, gotta have it.
Yeah,
absolutely. I just wanted to show like it's really interesting that this is the developer behind this is I believe it's a Brazilian husband and wife team, and I think kind of the game that they've really become known for now is Blazing Chrome.
Yes.
Which just came out recently, and it's really been. I actually haven't played that yet, but based on like what I saw with like the Digital Foundry breakdown and everything, it was they've really nailed like the pixel look and the scaling and like the scanline effects and stuff like that. Now if you look at these two games though, this game is actually quite old. I think maybe 2012. And it's definitely improved. Their presentation has improved here. Here all you've got is 4:3 and a stretch mode, which you can't quite see with that way I've got there. And then the TV filter is really not good. Like even just on this screen, like the scan lines are not evenly spaced at all. There's a cool like color separation effect, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's no sharp pixel mode either. So it's just kind of a bilinear filter, which
over the whole game, just in general.
Yeah, which it's not ideal. It kind of looks like Mega Man 9 or whatever, I beat the first 3 levels, but I'm like a couple of months ago, and I never finished the game, so I'm just gonna start from the first level. I'm just gonna skip the cutscenes because it's pretty nonsense.
We got a $2 donation from Dustin Kramer asking, did you name Sandy after the dog from Dragon Quest XI? And the truth is Dragon Quest XI named the dog Sandy after your dog.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah,
it was a funny coincidence that happened because you got Sandy before Dragon Quest XI was out.
Yeah, what's interesting is it was it was out in Japan, but I mean I didn't know anything about the characters in the game or anything, and but the US version was not out yet. She is actually named after the Kingdom of Sandoria from Final Fantasy XI. The players call the usually abbreviate Sandoria, which is SAN space lowercase d apostrophe uppercase O RIA. Usually the players just call it Sandy.
We also got a $5 donation from Bubba Matt 812 saying, "Hey y'all, thought I'd catch a stream while homesick. I thought you were playing 3DO. We played 3DO last week. What happened is we tried to use the new interface for YouTube's live streaming, and it didn't work the way that we wanted to. And
it screwed it up. It went like it defaulted back to what we had for like I had it all set up and everything, and then it just had last week's stream information when I went live, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to see some 3DO, there's pretty lengthy.
Plenty of it.
Yeah, plenty of it. Oh wow, we got a $10 donation from Craig Wan.
Wow.
Thank you. Jeez. It says, after seeing footage of the indie horror game Faith, I gotta know, what is your favorite survival horror game this year?
This year,
And would you be down to stream any of those games?
you mean like games that actually did release this year?
Yeah,
I mean, Resident Evil
right.
2 is fantastic, the remake. I'm not. I mean, I could very well be forgetting something, but I don't know for sure if I've played any other horror games that released this year.
Yeah.
I played the original Fatal Frame this year.
In some way, I mean, Death Stranding could probably, in some ways, classify as a survival horror, or as a horror game for sure.
Yeah, it's got
like
elements of it.
Yeah. Earlier, somebody asked about my, because I tweeted about it yesterday. I finished it on Friday night.
You had like a big turnaround with the game.
Well, I just
It
figured
just
out the
it just
gameplay,
sunk
I
in
guess.
after a while.
Yeah, I just started understanding it. And I definitely got into it. But I think that after 40 hours and finishing it, I've had my fill. Even though after I finish a game, I always have this desire to go back and just see what extra stuff I can do easily. You know, see if there's any in progress deliveries that I never ended up finishing.
Mm-hmm. Did you? I mean, I shouldn't say spoilers, but there was an email that you got at a point during like the last several hours that suggested a location that you might want to visit before wrapping things up. Did you by chance do that?
I didn't get that, but I think I know what you're talking about, and I think I just happened to randomly go there on my way back.
Oh, really? That would be
Because there was a last delivery where I had to deliver a pizza.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I thought it would be really funny if the last delivery that I did in the game was delivering a pizza. And I was like, I'm going that way anyways. So it was like kind of a random accident that happened.
Oh, okay. That's actually really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we shouldn't say anymore.
But yeah, I mean, I ended up really liking it. I really liked it. I'd probably give it around like a solid 7.5 or 8.
It's you know, it's not necessarily a fun game, but like I found it to be compelling.
I thought it got pretty fun after a while. I thought it would be fun just to see how far I could push it, like how much stuff I could get on.
Oh yeah. There's one like super funny thing that happened to me that I mean I can't really talk about without talking about spoilers. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you later. But
okay. Oh, we got a $5 donation from Yum Pancake. Or Yum Pancake.
Yum.
It said bruh. But it was, I mean, it definitely takes a while to get started, and there's a lot of stuff.
Like the area that
throw a lot at you, and you are. It's kind of hard to understand to figure out what you're even doing, but there is a point where it kind of clicks, and then you start thinking about how you wish you understood it earlier on to take advantage of certain aspects of it.
I mean, the one thing that was kind of odd to me was that, you know how like the first several hours of the game take place like in one region, and then there's like this kind of like forced like transition,
right?
And like then like for pretty much the rest of the game you're like in the next area. In that first area you're there for so long, but there's no real like
Well, it's just to teach you how to do a lot of stuff, but I didn't really.
Right, but like there's like no real visual variety in that area, though. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Like it's interesting to me, like because like there's quite a lot of like just different environments and stuff, and
well, kind of, yeah.
Like in the rest of the game, but the first area just feels really. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's just kind of samey.
I think that there's only it's the only time it gets really different is with the snow.
Well, not just that. I mean, there's areas that's more areas, like some.
I mean, there's rocky areas in that first area, and I didn't think about it that much until you are forced to go back there like later on in the game, and you're like, oh, well, I guess. It seems so easy to traverse for one thing, and it's a lot more. There's a lot more variety there than I remembered.
But I mean, there is a lot of variety in the other areas. I mean, there's like swamplands and stuff like that. I mean, just all kinds of stuff.
The car physics are hilarious.
Oh yeah.
When you can like you click on the left stick and you can do the boost. It is hilarious. There's times where I just like accidentally fly off the cliff.
But like, it's amazing like how easy it is to use the cars though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we got another donation from Sean Quinn, $9.99. Thank you. Jeez. Another thing that I was curious about was NES Maker, the software that lets non-programmers write their own NES games and actually flash them to an actual NES cartridge. Have you tried any of it? Is it any good? I have not tried any of them. I was a backer of well, it was like a documentary that was made, and then like the program to make the NES Maker program like came out of that documentary. I think it was called like the Real 8-Bit Heroes or something. I was a backer. I never even ended up watching it, to be honest. I mean, I must have it somewhere, but I have not watched it.
Yeah, I have not tried that. I mean, I know I'll never like actually finish anything with it, but I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, I had a lot more fun with Mario Maker 2 than I thought I would. So, you know, maybe it's more fun than I think.
From what I understand, the new EverDrive N8 Pro partially supports the games that you can make with it.
Oh yeah, huh? One what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
Keen for Listerine is asking if I just need to follow up after the SMS stream a few weeks back. You had the Wonder Boy music stuck in your head ever since. And the truth is that I have the Wonder Boy theme stuck in my head all the time. Bathroom in that case, it's the Me Maker. Are you using the 8-bit SNES controller or the OEM Switch NES?
I'm using the real SNES controller.
For some reason, I heard somebody say a long time ago that the diagonals on it are not very good. Is that true? Totally fine.
I mean, they seem fine to me. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, I used my berserk mode on him and tore him up. I mean, I haven't. I mean, I could. Is there a Contra game on?
No, but I mean, hopefully the physical versions of Blazing Chrome will ship soon enough. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, like Contra is always like what I like to test diagonals with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I played all of River City Girls with it. And did just fine. So.
Some people were asking about that Super Gun episode, and there is a Super Gun episode coming. It's not going to be the next episode or even the one after that. It's going to be soon, but there's just been some stuff going on, and I'm going to be moving here in couple weeks, like right after Christmas, essentially. Basically, like starting on the day before New Year's Eve is when I start moving. So it's just I have a lot of stuff to get in order before then. So we're doing like an easier episode, or 2 episodes rather. We're doing like a first party controllers that's we thought it was going to be easy, but of course it actually got to be so long or so big that it's going to be 2 separate videos.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like one video is out now and then it's going to be like a year before the other one. It's going to be the other one is going to be in January because you've already recorded all of your stuff for that.
We wrote and recorded all.
Like I have like a little bit more writing to do on that, but that's fine because I'm the one editing the episode.
Right.
So that'll be, and that's another a side factor to that is the fact that I can move and I will have an episode already uploaded, ready to release, because I won't be able to make an episode after I move. Everything's gonna be in flux for a little while there, and then like ideally the situation will be like that comes out, and then maybe I'll do a mini. I'm planning on doing a mini on like a EverDrive update. It's gonna cover like all the like the SNES Pro, the NES or the Famicom version of the N8 Pro, all that stuff. So it's going to have all the newest versions of flash cards in it, or of EverDrives rather, and SNES. And then, ideally after that, it will be the documentary series for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we will be all settled into our new spaces, and I guess the show will have a new look in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Just like in terms of like on camera segments.
Yeah, because we'll be in new places.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just like cut in. I mean, obviously we don't like to change the intro too much, but we should do a new cut of it.
Oh yeah. I mean that one is
just because
2 years old at this point. The 4K one is already 2 years old almost. So yeah, it's going to be we're in a state of flux with that stuff, and once the documentary is done and that's releasing, then we can both devote our time onto like single episodes together.
Yeah.
And that'll hopefully speed up everything.
Yeah, we're so excited. Like we're just so close to this point where like I'm doing everything with my new room. Like one half of it is like very much like, this is where I'm going to play these systems and record them and stream from them and everything. The other half of the room is like kind of equal parts like functional, somewhat functional, but also like just kind of decorated for like different angles for shooting backgrounds. And I'm trying to like do it so that like I basically have to bring as little as possible into the room to shoot. Like it can just be so quick to be ready to shoot. And also, I'm waiting until I kind of get my furniture a little more settled, but I'm going to hang, sound panels and stuff like that just to get the acoustics just right so that I don't have to bring in any like sound dampening. To, because all that kind of stuff just, sometimes setting up to shoot can be a big ordeal. Just because, like, I need to bring in stuff from other rooms that I don't want to leave in that room, So the less I have to bring in, the better. Like, I'm even, like, thinking about, like, mounting a place, like, to put my audio recorder, on a piece of furniture, like for at least one of the shots that I'm expecting to use like pretty often.
Mm-hmm. Jason WB is saying, why would you want to move? Moving sucks. And it does, but a big reason is that I want my kids to have their own bedrooms, the way that they could have their own bedrooms here, but it would be kind of difficult to work out. The house that we are moving into is only 22 years old. The one that we are currently living in is 141 years old. So it's much nicer. It has a garage. It has a driveway. I mean, we have on-street parking here. We've like had our side mirrors taken off on this street. We're just ready to, even though it's like it's in the same town, it's just more a little bit outside, and I lose a lot of the walkability that I have here, but I'm okay with losing that because I am gaining so much other stuff. And not only that, it's gonna be a little bit quieter, so it's easier to record audio. One thing I'm always struggling with is the amount of people around here. It seems like it is Kentucky, so it seems like everyone's muffler is falling off in Kentucky. And when you don't live on such a busy street, it'll be much easier. But it's just gonna be nicer to have just like a newer house. And I'm gonna be set up in the basement, and the house has air conditioning. It has, which is something that this house does not. We've been using window units, and during the summer up in this attic, it is basically unbearable. Like I'm just perpetually sweating here. And when we recorded the mini on the on Nintendo SNES on Nintendo Switch, that ended up going on for so long, and I had to cut like the back half of the entire video, and not because it was already too long, which was one factor, but I was like sweating through my shirt, and I was like, I can't use this. I've like sweat through my entire shirt. So I think if you look at that episode, if you go look at the beginning and look at the end, my shirt is definitely a different color.
Well, you avoided using yourself on camera for most of it. Plus, you cut out most of the stuff that we did toward the end of the episode.
But a
anyway.
big part of that was that I knew that it was already too long, but I was like, knowing how much I was sweating through my shirt made me more okay with losing it. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors. It's gonna suck to move everything out of this attic, and I'm gonna be moving into like a finished basement there. It has a drop ceiling, and I'm going to mount everything above the drop ceiling, like all my switchers and stuff. So that, at least the things I don't have to have any input on, I'm gonna mount them to like the floor joists, and I'm gonna run the wires down the back of the drywall, and I'm gonna cut little outlets for them to come through. And hopefully it's just gonna look completely clean without any wire.
So I think both of us might end up doing maybe, at least I'm planning to do like my own little video about, how my new setup is laid out. And, I think people would probably enjoy seeing both of us like put together our setups.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, I'm gonna get there and I gotta paint it before I start bringing over everything. And a big part of that is I get to spend a lot of time getting that area in a good shape to set up in. But I also, once everything's out of this house, we have to repair a lot inside this house, paint a bunch of stuff, patch some stuff on the wall so we can sell this.
But
Take a look at my evenings.
I actually kind of like moving. Like I certainly don't want to do it anytime remotely soon, because I wouldn't have put all of this effort into this new room if I was going to. But like I've always like, something I always kind of liked in college was like every year, like I kind of got to like come up with a new, like I've just always liked coming up with setups,
Yeah.
Like I've always thinking like, oh, how am I going to lay this out? How am I going to make, this work? It's just something I've always enjoyed. It's just like setting up a space.
Absolutely. And I am not, the only thing I'm really nervous about is moving this OLED. That's the only thing that I'm like really nervous about. And I think once that's moved, I'm going to be totally fine with everything. But I have an idea of how I'm going to set it up. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be able to mount shelves on the wall, and I'm going to put systems on that. And if I want to, the idea is for me to be able to have enough shelving space mounted to the wall that I can even have multiple instances of a system hooked up if I wanted to. I would love to have, say, like my Phoebe modded Saturn and a Model 1 for discs just hooked up. To use either one if I wanted to. So, I mean, I'm figuring out various
Sandy,
ideas.
Are you trying to move off my lap?
Yeah, I mean, it's... The thing is this house, we always felt that this was not our forever house, but I think this is going to be our forever house. So that's the feeling. In other news, I've been having a little bit of a love affair with the Mister this week.
I mean, you've been warming up to the Mister a lot lately, but I didn't realize this was intensifying even more.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this past week has had some, just the release of the Sega CD stuff, and then there is external or USB hard drive support coming.
I'm doing terrible jumping. Have to do the whole level again. Coury did play The Messenger. I got a
couple years back.
Yeah, you played it as the digital copy. You've got the physical now though, and I got the physical as well. So I'll probably play it relatively soonish, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a very good game. But I mean, I've been really enjoying the Mister. I use it a lot because I mean I was supposed to put this on social media the other day, but over the last couple of months I helped on a project that was taking all this footage from the Untold History of Japanese Game Developers. If anybody is familiar with those books, they're excellent resources, excellent, just great reading material. About just all these people that worked on games in Japan, from Compile and all these other people. There's 3 volumes of them, and it's great. But he recorded all this footage when he went to Japan to do all these interviews, and he released a DVD years ago, but he wanted to recut it, and also because he had the original footage and he shot all in HD, but the DVDs were only standard def. So I was able to go through and recut everything and put some extra stuff in there, as well as put in actual gameplay of footage. A lot of times he used these still pictures of games. I used the Mister a lot to record from this hardware that I didn't have direct access to, a lot of MSX stuff and stuff like that. And that is available on Amazon. I should put that up there. If anybody is interested in doing that, checking it out.
Doing terrible now. Are you recording Mister through analog?
Huh?
Are you recording Mister through the OSSC or HDMI output direct from it, or what?
I've been doing just HDMI direct out from it.
Okay.
Because it has an internal output now that does an integer scale in 4x.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
I haven't updated mine yet, and the one time I tried HDMI, I thought the scaler looked kind of weird, so maybe it's improved since then.
It's definitely a lot better now. Just put it on the internal settings, and it's just a 4x.
I am planning to mostly use it as analog though, because I'm planning to put it in my new room.
You can do both at the same time. You can record an HDMI and play an analog.
Oh, really? You don't lose any functionality doing both at the same time?
No, it just does them both.
Well, I may. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I might consider doing that. I didn't need to do that. I could.
Honestly, there's no reason not to.
Well, other than having to run a whole other HDMI cable.
Oh, well, I thought you'd go into like a splitter or something like that. Not a splitter, into a system selector. That's.
Well, yeah, but it would not. It would be on the switch. I'm planning to put. Well, I mean, I guess I don't have to, but I've been planning to put the switcher in the adjacent room, so I'd have to run through. I mean, I've got a hole cut in the wall, but I can't put that much stuff through it, really.
We got a $2 donation from Ben Brody, who says, "Oh
gosh, I am doing so terrible. I didn't realize.
$2.
I can't get out of here.
Oh, it's a Santa Claus accent."
A Santa Claus accent?
Yeah. What's the Santa Claus from A Christmas Story? It's like, ho, ho, ho!
Oh man, did I actually win? I should not have won getting trapped at the beginning of the level like that, or the beginning of the fight. So this is kind of as far as I've gotten before. I got to the boss of the next level a couple of times, but I never finished that level. So I like when I was playing the game before, like I didn't really intend to play it. I just kind of wanted to check it out.
We got a $2 donation from Dustin Kramer saying, "Say something nice about Jar Jar Binks." It's funny, you know. I put on Star Wars Episode 1 for the kids the other day, and it is a lot worse than I remember it being. I mean, the thing is, so on Disney Plus, all the movies have been remastered in 4K, and the effects in the original trilogy just hold up so well.
Oh yeah,
like all of them, but like the effects in Episode 1 don't hold up at all.
Like, you know, I remember like I was like so on board with like the CG revolution, like at first, like I was like way into, like when Episode 1 came out, I was just like way into that style of special effect, and like I just thought it was going to age perfectly, and that era of CG has not aged well at all. But like in my mind, I was thinking just like computer rendering made it look like it existed in that world. Like it was just this like perfect solution in my mind. Like it just like the way that they could do the lighting and stuff. I was just like, oh man, it's perfect. Like the texturing is perfect, the lighting is perfect. Like there's nowhere to go up from here, and there was very much to go up from there. It's too bad that those movies kind of revolutionized the use of computer generated special effects. Like, I mean, yeah, there were movies that did it before then, but I feel like those were the movies that like made it feasible to make a special effects movie where practically every shot had to, I mean, there was nothing of that scale before.
Right. But I mean, thinking back on it, I mean, Lord of the Ring or Fellowship of the Ring was in 2001.
Right. They used a lot more practical effects.
Came out in between. They did, yes. I mean, that's why it's.
But then you've got like Gollum, which I mean, to be fair, I have not watched those movies in a good
a lot better
number of years. But yeah, like Gollum, I like to believe that Gollum aged relatively well.
A $9.99 donation from Sean Quinn.
Wow.
Says, how much? Thank you. How much would have to be donated for one of you to speak like Jar Jar Binks for an entire stream and the other like Santa Claus? I think I'd probably die if I had to do that.
Wouldn't that probably be like? I mean, you know, I know that there are discussions on whether Jar Jar Binks is a little racist to begin with, so I don't even know. I did not think Jar Jar was good when episode 1 first came out, but I mean, he certainly didn't ruin the movie for me, but it is definitely for the best that he was very little in the other 2 movies. But
yeah.
You know, like, I mean, I'm sure you've like read or watched videos or whatever on that, like, you know, Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord theory, and it's like I mean, there's or that George Lucas like intended that like he was actually going to be like the one like pulling the strings behind the scenes, like he was like as bad as Palpatine, basically. Have you read this before? It's like
I am familiar.
Like, if you actually like, if you read like how the theories are constructed, it's like shockingly plausible. Like it's like it is way more believable than it has any right to be. Like if you like it really kind of puts it into this perspective where it's like it does kind of feel like it's so absurd, but it almost feels like Lucas could have been thinking that and then like backed off because everyone hated Jar Jar so much. No, I'm serious. Like, these theories are like good.
Either way, I mean, if episode 1 was a lot worse than I remember it being, I'm afraid to see how bad episode 2 is going to be, because episode 2 is far and away my least favorite. I mean, to be completely honest, I've watched the original trilogy probably like over 100 times each. There was a point when I was in high school, it was right around the time that Super Star Wars came out, and that was kind of that was the game that got me back into Star Wars. And I had the original trilogy on VHS, and there was a summer, or like a half a year from like Christmas until the end of summer, I would basically put on one of the movies every single night and fall asleep to it. I would just go through each one of them, and I just fall asleep to it like every night, basically. And I had a realization a little while back that basically anything outside of those original 3, like I'll watch them like once or twice, and I have no desire to see them again. I mean, I haven't watched any of the new movies since seeing them for the first time.
When does episode 9 even come out? I mean,
yeah,
is it like next week, or is it the week after, or like
is it next week? It might be on Friday. I don't know. It might be Friday, or it's either this coming Friday or next Friday.
I mean, I'll go see it on opening night. I just don't even know when it is.
So 2 weeks from last Friday.
Wait, 2 weeks from last Friday? You mean this past week?
Friday, so, yeah.
So it's 1 week from this coming Friday.
No, I did not know it comes out on the 20th. I was thinking about it earlier today. I said, when does it come out? Does it come out on Friday? Is it? But the thing is, like, I see Coury X says no interest in The Mandalorian. It's been pretty good so far. And I have watched The Mandalorian. I think it's really good. I have not watched the last 2 episodes yet, though. But it's definitely the closest thing to the original trilogy of anything that has come out since the original trilogy.
Did you see Solo?
I did. Yeah, I watched it once. I don't remember.
I mean, I've only seen it once as well, but I enjoyed it.
I mean,
a lot more than
Rogue
I
One
expected.
was good, but I think the Rogue One, a lot of people, the last battle in Rogue One is really, really good, which I think makes people think that the movie was a little bit maybe it is better than they remember it being, because it really ends on a high note.
I mean, I'd be interested to see how I'd feel about watching Rogue One again. Like, I felt like
I was so bored.
Really? I felt like I should have liked it more than I did, but just like I don't know. Like, it just something about it just didn't pan out that much for me. Like, aspects of it I liked for sure, but I wanted to like it more than I did. And I was surprised by how much I liked Solo. I mean, I still don't buy that guy as, like, you know, looking much like Han Solo at all, but I liked what the movie did overall. I thought it was fun. I liked how Han and Chewie met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there that will say that, you know, Star Wars started getting bad with Return of the Jedi, but I personally I think that Return of the Jedi is good. The Ewoks don't bother me at all.
No, the Return of the Jedi is the first one I ever saw, so like, I've definitely got a soft spot for that. Like, the final, like, the climax in that movie is like, I mean, so many movies do stuff like this now, but like how it just had these like 3 like crazy action sequences going on at once.
Yeah.
Like, in kind between them, like that. I mean, I feel like that was pretty mind blowing. Like, that's nothing now, but like there's probably been nothing that I can think of up to that point quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's definitely the most impressive space battle in any of the movies.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was. We talked about this recently when we were talking about Rogue Squadron 2, about how it was just amazing that game put the Battle of Endor in the game, or that it was like the last level, and it just is recreated perfectly. But I mean, I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater. It came out. I remember the theater being so packed I had to sit in the aisle on the floor. But I mean, I was 5 probably, so I'd seen the other ones on video. I remember my dad had a VCR that you had to, like, you put the tape in the top and you push down on it. But I mean, I don't know. I will probably go to see Episode 9. I will probably, like, the day after it comes out, or the day that it comes out, I'll probably go to a 10 or 11 a.m. screening of it. But I'm not excited at all. And it's funny because up until
I don't know what to. I feel like if they make the whole Palpatine thing good, then like it'll be kind of cool. But like I feel like that's the only way that like the whole thing is going to like have a chance to feel like it fits in, that adds anything to the overarching plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. My big problem is it just makes everything that if he's like still alive for just if they don't really explain that clearly, or if it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of the overall storyline, it just feels like everything that happened in Return of the Jedi was for nothing.
I mean, I don't think that's true.
Succeeded in anything essentially.
I don't think that's true, because I mean, obviously, you know, it must be because he had some sort of, you know, contingency plan, you know, probably relating to what he was talking about in episode 3, you know, Darth Plagueis and all that. You know, so here's my biggest
takes away any kind of impact that anything had in Return of the Jedi.
I disagree because obviously he went away, but he had a plan to, you know, come back, you know, 30 years later or whatever, right? Or it panned out, 30 years, whether he planned to take a particular amount of time. I mean, who knows? I mean, we're going to find out. Well, you take a long time to die. So I mean, yeah, I don't know what to think. It could be cool. Oh my gosh. This level is entirely too long.
Maybe it's the last level.
It's the 4th level.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's my thoughts.
Yeah. Whoa.
What?
This level very much has like a Mad Max vibe going on, like between like the opening being like this car chase and this weird deformed guy.
Michael's Workshop is asking, what are you guys asking for this Christmas? I'm kind of want to get like a desoldering gun. That's the thing. That's
going in for some of the big challenging stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, there's like a couple of other things too. I mean,
I gave my parents the copy of Pokemon Shield I had pre-ordered. I mean, I paid for it. Maybe I don't know if I'll be paid back for it, or I'll just get it on Christmas Day. Also, that Final Fantasy 7 and 8 physical for Switch, and the Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 physical for Switch. Even though the 1, 2, and 3 look terrible on Switch, I still wanted to have the physical copy. I forgot that I had set those to be delivered to my parents' house just in case I wasn't home.
Mm-hmm.
And so those got delivered there. So I guess I'll get those on Christmas too, even though I paid for them. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get.
Michael's Workshop, I don't know. I have one. It's like $150 on my wish list. We'll see what happens though. I mean, I haven't decided yet. It looks like the one I have is
it looks like there's a lot of
915. I think I saw someone mention the ZD 915.
As soon as you mentioned desoldering gun, it looks like all of a sudden there's opinions.
Oh, people are saying don't.
Or what you should get. I mean, I imagine whatever like Dan uses is like the one to get.
Yeah.
Because I know like Dan and Jason use the same one, I think.
Yeah, I'd also was thinking about getting like an EEPROM burner. Asking for an EEPROM burner.
So you can make a 3-player final fight.
Yeah, that's like the main reason.
And you can make your own like unibios for.
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, there's a lot of different things I could do with it.
Do you have to have an EEPROM burner to use those translation things that Voltar makes?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I should be able to do a lot with it.
The Brain Palace.
Ooh. This sounds like the final level.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds like that's a final level sounding name for sure.
The other thing I was kind of looking at was thinking about getting a new teleprompter that isn't so heavy and it's more portable.
I feel like I might be due for a teleprompter upgrade too, but I haven't really.
There's one is by this company called Glide Gear that I was thinking about. Like $198. The one I have now is just like really big and heavy. It was before, I guess, I mean, it was one of the first consumer grade teleprompters you could get.
The one I have came from a website called Really Cheap Teleprompter. And it's kind of like a homemade-ish thing.
I mean, but yours, it folds into this little, like a wooden case, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it fits on a light stand. Jeez.
But I was looking at that, so we'll see what happens. I mean, in reality, we're gonna be moving, so I'd rather just get stuff for the new house instead.
Yeah, I mean, you're not even gonna be able to enjoy anything. Like you're closing. Aren't you closing like on your birthday?
On the 30th.
Oh, okay.
And the idea, I think, is for us to, as soon as we close and we get the keys and everything, we're gonna go over and I want to paint the basement.
Like, you gonna do it yourself?
Well, I'm gonna do that while my wife cleans the carpets, and the kids are gonna go stay with their grandparents for a couple of days, and we're gonna work on moving everything during that time. But I need to paint before I can, before I bring all the stuff for the basement over. If I have enough space though, I really want to get an Astro City, like a candy cab. I think that I will have space down there.
Do you even have any idea how expensive they might be though? Like I have no clue what you'd possibly end up paying.
Oh, they're probably more expensive now than they were, but I mean,
I'm sure.
Well, I'll see, because you got to get it delivered and then brought down to the basement and all this other stuff. We'll see what happens.
I mean, if you could find one several hours away, it could possibly be worth a road trip.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you still have to bring it in like a U-Haul, but maybe somebody will be selling ones local. Who knows? Yeah, they're probably around $1,000. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna buy one anytime soon, but
one day.
Like eventually.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, for a forever home, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is a hard wall.
Solder irons are furniture. This couch here is not coming with us. I'm gonna be.
Are you gonna buy a new couch?
No. There's one downstairs that was in my grandma's house growing up, and it's like this. It's a pretty big couch. It's low to the ground, but it's really long. So I think I was gonna bring that up here, but it was so long I couldn't get it around the corner to get it up the stairs. So.
I mean, it's not an amazing couch.
No. And I mean, this other one, I mean, it's not amazing, but it's comfy. It's comfy. I think it's an improvement over this one. AB Hiccups is saying, are you planning on making a video about personal home arcade, like the arcade one-up or the At Games emulator arcade? And you have the final fight. This is gonna be in an episode.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. In the future.
Yeah.
after the
The
holidays.
scaling on it is not good, but
So from what we heard, or at least from what I've heard, that the one that you have is one of the earlier ones, and since they got a bit more popular, they've upgraded the hardware in them.
yeah. But see, I
Like the
thought
Ninja-
I thought Final Fight was a new one, so that's why I was kind of confused.
It still uses the old kind of, like the old.
Yeah, I would love to see what the new ones look like, because I mean, it was sent to us as a review unit, but I mean, frankly, my assessment is not going to be that. I mean, it's fun to play, but like the scaling is definitely not up to our standards. But at the end of the day, it is fun to play. Like, it's just kind of a cool thing to have in your house in lieu of, a real arcade cabinet. Like, I would not consider that a real arcade cabinet. But yeah, sure, it's a fun thing to have. But the scaling is, I have to say, some of the worst I've ever seen. it's bad scaling. But again, it's fun. I do enjoy it. I originally put it in the new room, but yesterday I decided to move it to the guest bedroom instead, and then put a chest of drawers that kind of matches some of the furniture I'm already putting in the new room. Just a chest of drawers that like I could. It'd be a good surface to right now I've put like my really good PC style CRT on it, along with my extra Dreamcast, the one with the GDMU in it.
Right.
Like that's the idea right now. But yeah, like I kind of thought for one, if I was going to put that in the room, I just wouldn't have room for the arcade 1-up in the new room. And I was like, it's like at the end of if it was a real arcade cabinet, I would definitely leave it in there. But it's like, it's not a real arcade cabinet, and it's like more of a novelty. So I could kind of see it actually in some ways being more fun for the guest bedroom, because it's like a thing for guests to do,
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, that's fun, I'll play some Final Fight. That's like probably its best possible use. And it sounds like people who do have them, they are used as a thing to entertain guests. It's like, it's not really something that you would just be like, yeah, I'm just going, play this for a while. It's just almost a conversation starter for guests or something,
Yeah.
I can get that. Yeah, this level's gonna be tough. I hope this is the last level.
It seems like it is.
I don't know though, because I think this is only the 5th level. I mean, the levels are somewhat long sometimes.
But look at that parallax scrolling in the sky. Of course.
There's been parallax
like
in
something
other
that-
levels.
But what else am I gonna do? I have no idea how everything's gonna get set up down there, though. I mean, I think I have a long wall I'm gonna put most of this stuff on, and there's not gonna be as much sunlight down there. But it is what it is. At least it's gonna be cool in the summer and warm in the winter.
Yeah, that's a big upgrade.
I mean, that's the thing. I think that's the thing I'm most excited about, is the fact that I'm gonna be living in
Air conditioning all the time.
There's not gonna be. Well, during the winter is just as bad. I mean, there's like a constant draft in this house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Your house is very cold in the winter.
Yes. And I mean, especially since I've been having that problem with my hands and feet in the last couple years. For those who don't know, apparently I have something called Raynaud's disease, where you're like the blood flowing to your feet and hands. If it gets too cold, the blood doesn't flow fast enough. and my hands get really, really cold. Like they're just icy to the touch all the time. And my toes especially, I had to... There's been times where my toes have gotten completely white, and I had to put them in hot water, and they turn like blue.
Wow.
So now I have to basically exist completely in either heavy wool socks or multiple layers of socks for the winter. It sucks.
And really, in the basement, like if it's like I've found, like in my parents' basement at least, like they don't have to have the air on, you know, hot or cold as much as like the first floor. So you might not like even have to run the heating and air all that hard.
Right.
But I don't know.
Michael's Workshop is wondering if I smoke, and I did smoke, but I've been quit for just about 11 years now. I mean, I guess I smoked pretty regularly from the time I was probably 25 to 30. So February will be 11 years. If that has anything to do with it, I mean, it's very possible it could. But to be clear, I mean, I grew up, both my parents smoked, and even though my mom didn't smoke around me, my dad did a lot. But even though my parents were divorced, like, before I was even a year old, but I was just telling my wife about it recently, about how I remember, like, how I would get so sick to my stomach when I was really little, because my dad would always take us out to dinner on Wednesdays, and we'd go to his house on Saturdays. And I just remember, like, being young and him just, like, he just smoking, doesn't roll down the windows or anything. And, like, I mean, it wasn't even something that people even thought about. It's just funny to think about that.
Yeah.
And it's even funnier to think about that, like, it used to be totally fine just to openly smoke on airplanes.
Yeah.
Which is so ridiculous. What did you guys enjoy most in growing up in terms of gaming? For me, it was all about arcade games on the Master System and Genesis, and then RPGs at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was all about the NES at first, and then, you know, I was Nintendo only for a very long time. So it was, you know, NES, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, and 64. You know, and then, you know, I finally got a PlayStation like 99. It may have even actually been early 2000. I can't quite remember for sure. Then, you know, PlayStation 2 and then GameCube. And then I was in college, so I'd say that's not growing up anymore.
AB Hiccups, are any new episodes going to be Amazon Prime time exclusive, or is it going to be on YouTube day one? Everything's going to be YouTube day one, because with Amazon you have to upload it and you have to wait for them to make it live. They have to check everything, and it takes forever. Like, a lot of times I'll submit it to go live on Amazon, like the second I upload it, and it's usually that's the same time I upload that at the same time as I do the channel, but it takes like 4 days.
I think there might be like a misconception, like that, like being on Amazon is like a big deal. It's not.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that there's some people. I think
like people probably think like,
oh,
we were like in talks with Amazon or something. It's like no,
I mean,
like
anybody can do it.
Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. But now there are like certain standards. Like you're like like,
everything has to be subtitled.
yes,
Is like the main thing.
right. There's certain standards, and like they don't like they don't allow like Let's Plays and stuff like that. You know, which obviously isn't a problem for us, but like
Apparently they don't allow reviews now.
oh, okay. But yeah, like
but none of our stuff, we never title our stuff as reviews.
yeah, you can anyone can like I mean, if you dig around on the depths of Amazon Prime, like there's some low grade stuff there. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking about gaming content. I'm just talking about like, you know, like amateur filmmaking stuff. Like
yeah.
Like it's, I mean, it's cool, you know. It's that there is an outlet for people to put that kind of stuff. But yeah, my point is, like, I think some people are like, oh, I think someone commented recently, like, oh, I saw you guys are on Amazon. Congratulations, as if it was like Netflix. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, we just
getting on Netflix, that is a big deal. Amazon.
Yeah. I like a descriptive audio track for your content. Do they do that? Does Amazon do that?
A descriptive audio track.
Maybe Netflix does it.
What is you mean by descriptive audio track? You mean like?
I think it's somebody describing what's going on. I mean, I think that's
probably for
people
for blind people.
Yeah.
I've not actually heard of that, to be honest.
The Dusty console is shown on a turntable. For those ones, a Sega Genesis is shown with a tiny hair on it for the early episodes, so that's what I would say. Oh, Netflix does that, okay. But yeah, I mean, there's no thing. I know that Metal Jesus is putting his stuff on there, but I think that he's working with somebody who's like doing all, like basically, like he's has a deal or something like that. But he, I mean, I think he's like someone else is doing all the subtitling and stuff.
I mean, with our scripted stuff, subtitling is easy. Because you can upload the script and YouTube can automatically do.
Yeah, it kind of. It's not perfect, but it's good enough.
Can you download that file and then upload it to Amazon? Is that how you've done it?
Yes, that's exactly how I do it. Is Classic Game Room still on Amazon? I don't think so. I think that he was posting for a while there, and then he just kind of slowed down and stopped. I don't know if.
So he's not doing anything right now?
Well, no, he's like doing more like comic book stuff now. Or he's like he's been releasing these books. I don't really know too much about what he's doing, but I know that I think that he's going to be doing game content, but he's going to be hosting it.
Whoa! I just got a violin. I think it gave me a 1-up. That's weird. Huh.
But I don't know. Like I really don't even know what's going on with his stuff.
This definitely looks like a last level.
Someone's saying that there's 6 levels, but maybe the last level is
the boss fight.
The boss, yeah.
I always appreciate that. I like a final boss being its own level.
Yeah. Maybe a Hiccups is asking, do you think Mixer will defeat Twitch, or too many people still using Twitch? I've never watched anything on Mixer.
We on the backloggery, we tried whatever Mixer was before Microsoft bought it. I forget what it was called. We streamed on there for a while, mostly because they had like really low latency at first. But then it didn't work out too good.
Whatever happened to Hitbox? Was that Hitbox?
That was, I think that's what it was. I think it was Hitbox.
Then it disappeared. So next week we've been kind of in talks of having kind of a cool stream. The next two should be pretty interesting. I mean, if what we think is going to happen for next week. I think next week we're gonna, if everything works out, we're gonna have some giveaways. It's gonna be some like code giveaways that we're gonna be able to.
Not a contest, just.
It's not a contest. It's just gonna be posting download codes for people, and whoever gets them gets them. And then the week after that, since I'm going to be moving at the end of the month, and this is the only real time for us to be doing it, we'll be doing our yearly in-person comparison stream with John Linneman. We'll be here again. We're not sure what we're going to play yet. It's always fun. I'll have to think of something fun there.
Should do Max Payne PS2 versus Xbox.
Oh, that might be fun. So I got 4 terabyte drives for both my PS4 and my Xbox One, so I've been installing all of my games. And I installed all my Xbox One games, and I went through all of my 360 games to install like the backwards compatible stuff. And I didn't really follow too much of the backwards compatibility stuff, but there is so much stuff supported. It's incredible.
It really is.
I mean, I had like something like 60 downloads or something like that today.
I always just like I just put all dang it. I put all of my I like to just put all my 360 discs in as I buy them. Just like I don't even look up. I mean, in a lot of cases I do know what's backwards compatible is, but if it's one it's like I'm not sure if it is or isn't. I just pop it in because like who knows? You know, what if the list is wrong? You know?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I can't think of any other Xbox 360 games that I want that I don't have at this point.
Well, it's just that, like, you know, I only got not that many years ago, so like.
Right. I mean, it's the same way. Like, I put everything in. I was constantly surprised, like, oh, this one is supported. Yeah,
there's a number of games that like I've got the PS3 version, but like I got the 360 version just because, like, why not? Like, I got the all of the Final Fantasy 13 games are 4K. Like, that's insane. Like, it basically, and what's weird about it is that if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say the Digital Foundry analysis showed that the FMVs in Final Fantasy 13 are somehow higher quality than on the original disc. Like, I think PS3 is still better FMV, but it's better than the abysmal that it originally was.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that Square probably provided them with like a higher bitrate version of the video or something.
Right, but it's kind of crazy because like originally the rule was like they couldn't do anything that actually changed like the game code. So I don't know if that involved changing the game code, but I mean it's almost like a remaster in a way. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I definitely would not mind replaying all those games someday on in 4K.
I'm thinking about doing the soft mod on my PS3 Super Slim. I think I have like the 4.84. I'm still on that. But I don't know. Like it's just cool to install all that stuff. I'm like, I can't believe that this is supported. I'm not excited to get new consoles already, I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, this generation though, like, I mean, I know you got the X and the Pro more recently than me, but like this generation, even though it doesn't really feel like it, you know, it's been just as long as the previous one was, which was kind of too long.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting, though. I think it's the next generation. It might be a little bit. It's going to be interesting because I think there's going to be substantially less remasters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be backwards. I think it's going to be like backwards compatibility, like enhancement patches.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to do it. We're going to do that because I think that as a result, I mean, hopefully it will be less games that I'll want to buy. Because, I mean, the first PS3 and Xbox 360 is a transitional period into HD. So there was room for improvement in the way that those games ran. But now now they have already been remastered and run pretty good, there's no reason to do them again.
Yeah. I was thinking about how crazy it is that the Mass Effect trilogy never got a remaster.
But they are all backwards compatible. I wonder how they look.
I don't think they're 4K.
True.
I want to get the... do I have... I don't think I have either of them. I want to get the Lords of Shadow. I mean, I know those games are not very well beloved, but I want to get the 360 versions of them. They're a little more expensive than I feel they should be, though. That's why I keep playing them off.
You should, since I have the Xbox 360 version, like the digital download of it, so it should show up in your library.
Oh, okay, but I still want to get it. You know, it's just that they're more like $15 than like 10 or under. Like it's just more than I feel those games should cost. I mean, I've not played the second one yet. Things I've heard about actually kind of interest me though. But the first game, like, I like it for what it is. Like, you know, I in some ways, like, I thought it was better than like God of War 3, you know, which kind of came out in, you know, around the same time, sort of. That's a violin. And it gives me a 1-up. Weird. But yeah, like the frame rate though, whew, like I remember capturing some footage from it a while back, and the frame rate is not impressive on PS3 at least. I don't know if 360 was any better, but
see, I think for that, I mean,
I'm sure Xbox One then though probably totally smooths it out.
I mean, for stuff like that, like thinking about, like I don't feel, I think I got the 360 version as digital as part of like Games with Gold or something like that. And Games with Gold for Xbox 360 stuff, you don't
lose it. Oh, do you lose the Xbox One stuff?
You lose Xbox One stuff when Gold ends, if you let it end. But for all 360 stuff, you get to keep it.
That's cool. I mean, so, it's cool that you keep 360 stuff, but I thought you also kept Xbox One stuff. So that's actually
that expires the same way as PS Plus. I need to hack my PlayStation TV as well.
This is like the Terminator in Contra 3, like having to go around the edge. Oh, that's not it.
Especially since the PS TV, you can put games on a USB drive on that, can't you? I mean, that's the main thing that I'd want to do.
Wait, the PS TV? If you hack
Yeah.
it, you mean?
Yeah, you don't even have to get one of those weird
Memory card things?
the memory card things. I think you can just put it
Yeah,
on
I'm
a
pretty sure I
USB.
heard that like USB memory is faster too.
Yeah, probably. I would like to install that.
Yeah, I bought a second one just for hacking, but I haven't done it yet.
And then I'll do the PS3. Okay, so yeah, Modern Adventures Gamer. I've been watching for like all my hacking stuff. I've been watching Mr. Mario. Does some good stuff. ABO Hiccups is saying, do you have any theories about how Palpatine survived in the return in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker?
I mean, I don't.
I think that they didn't have any idea what to do with this. with it. I think that's how he survived.
Specifics, no, but I definitely think it had something to do with the way he talked to Anakin about in Episode 3. I mean, my biggest fear, though, is that they're going to leave it unexplained, because I kind of get this feeling that they've adopted this policy of, like, details are for nerds. Like, that's not interesting. It doesn't really matter. It just matters that it happened. And then, like, you know, if there's any details at all, it's going to be like in a comic book or something like that I'm never going to read, you know? So, like, I just want the movie to explain it, you know? That's my biggest fear. That it's just going to happen, and, you know, like, you know, oh, where did he come from? Why did it happen? How does it tie into his original, you know, ambitions? You know, at least give us enough to to infer something, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know how much I care.
I want to care. That's the thing. I don't know if I will care until I've seen it.
I'll be annoyed if they don't explain it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I really liked The Force Awakens when it came out, but the thing is, like, it was more a movie of potential, and like I felt like The Last Jedi didn't
paid off.
Huh?
None of that potential was paid off.
None of that potential I felt paid off in Last Jedi. Like, it just, the plot didn't go anywhere all that interesting, I don't think. And I think it squandered a few things that, you know, maybe they shouldn't have. So, like, I'm hoping that there can be some payoff, but I was like, I remember when Force Awakens came out, like, I was like, wow, like, this is a good new cast of characters, and I would like to see what they do. And then they didn't do anything, you know? Like, that was like, I was like, okay, this is a good first step. Like, you know, it's pretty hard to make, you know, characters. I mean, when you're talking about the legacy of the original cast, like, I mean, they're always going to be in their shadow, and the fact that they were, you know, seemed to be interesting characters at all, you know, was kind of a miracle that they pulled that off. And then,
right,
what did they do with it? You know, so far, I don't know. I don't know if they've done anything that, you know, was all that worthwhile. You know, but I only watched Last Jedi once. I'd like to watch it again, but like I remember just how much of the plot was like spent on stuff that amounted to nothing. You know?
Yeah. See some people talking about hacking the PlayStation TV. I will probably. I'm waiting for the Raspberry Pi 4 to really hit its stride. I mean, I don't see the desire in having like multiple devices. It's just like just another one running RetroArch. I liked my experience, you know, downloading a 128 gig image for an SD card and putting it in my Raspberry Pi and just using that for if I need to get footage of like an arcade game or something like that. But I mean, like hacking like so many different things. Like, oh, I'm gonna hack this. It's gonna be another thing to put RetroArch on. I have 5 other devices that I can put. I have RetroArch already on it. But I mean, I'll wait for the Raspberry Pi 4. I mean, it's only like $80 for the 4 gig version. And apparently, they can do that. It will be powerful enough to do the run ahead mode.
Oh. That guy didn't seem too bad. But he just seemed to have a lot of health.
I got the 2.4 gigahertz M30, the 8-bit DO controller, but there's one that it's made for the Genesis Mini that has like is a 2.4 gigahertz USB.
Oh, the receiver
dongle.
You mean?
Yeah, it's a USB receiver, so I got that for my Mister.
Ah.
Which is basically perfect for just about anything.
Yeah.
Even for like Super NES stuff.
The Mister does have built-in Bluetooth though, right?
It does not, no.
Oh, I thought it did for some reason.
No, you can get like a little receiver for it to do it, and you know, maybe I should get one.
I mean, 2.4
I mean, I
is better,
don't really feel like I need to get it. What I got for using for a keyboard and mouse is I just got one of those Logitech keyboard mouse combos with like the little touchpad.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the new. Does yours have like some yellow accents on it?
Does it have some what?
Yellow accents.
Yeah, I mean it's exactly the same.
I don't like the new.
It's the K400 Plus.
Yeah, I think that's it. I've got one and I'm going to be using it with my new setup, but I don't like just like something about the way the mouse pad is positioned. I don't like it, and I've got this one that I just use, for, not for editing or anything, but just for general computer use. What is this? This is the K400R. I love this one, but like the mouse placement or the trackpad placement is like lower on the keyboard on the new one, and something about it just like cramps my hand. I don't like it.
I just use my thumb on it.
Thumb for a trackpad?
On one of those, yeah. I mean, you're basically meant to. That's why it has the mouse click on the left hand.
I don't know if it's exactly the same one we got or not. But...
yeah, pretty sure it is. Hang on.
Well, I mean, the good one. I mean, the one I just showed is the good one. The one upstairs is the one that I'm not as big of a fan of. I wish I could just get the same one I already got.
This one, right?
Yeah, something about the way the trackpad. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll try using it like that. I never thought of that. I never thought of using it that way.
On the Mister, like I want to use it to play Scum VM games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just hold it like a controller, essentially. But we're definitely gonna be doing a big video on Mister early in the year, just because I'm feeling excited about it, and comparing it to when we should just do like another live stream sometime soon with it too. Maybe we'll do a stream in January with it, just because compared to the last time when we did a stream on it, gosh, it must have been like a year and a half ago or something. Now it is so much better than it was then. It's kind of crazy how much
you were like really not that enthusiastic about it for a long time.
Well, I mean, I was interested to see where it was going to go, but it still took a lot of work to get what I wanted out of it at the time. Mm-hmm. But now it's like I have kind of wrapped my head around it a lot better, and it's so much of it has been streamlined and made easier. And yeah, I mean, Smoke Monster's exactly right. It's really exciting right now, seeing what's happening with it. And even just like this last week, you know, I mean, even the last couple of weeks, you know, Game Boy Advance came out of nowhere, and is really good. One thing I do gotta ask about, maybe Smoke Monster, I'll send you a DM about it or something. I need to figure out where I need to put my save files. Like I know that it uses like .sav, but I can just retitle my extension, like my .srms to .sav, but I don't know where to put them for like Genesis and Super Nintendo and everything. I don't think that Game Boy Advance supports save files yet though, but I'm talking about I just like to bring in my Super NES and Genesis stuff. I gotta figure that out. I just can't find any exact mentions of it online. Okay, so I can just make a... Oh, okay, so there's like a /saves folder. And then I can put the core name. Is it just like SNES? Like same thing as like a game folder, but like same thing as a game folder, but with inside of /games, it'd be /saves. Essentially. And that's true for everything.
Gosh darn it.
All right, well, I guess that's that. I will give that a shot as soon as the stream is over. That makes it easy. But yeah, I put the RAM. Did you put the new RAM chip in yours?
I haven't. I want to shoot video of doing it, so I just haven't.
Yeah, I mean it's simple. You just pull it out. It's the same size as the other one. But Neo Geo stuff runs really good. I mean, it's just exciting right now. It's cool to mess around with it. And the Sega CD stuff was really, for me, was the thing that pushed it over the edge. Especially since, in a lot of ways, it's more accurate than the Mega SG is, because in the audio department, because the audio for the Genesis was tuned with MD4 to be, I guess, completely spot on for different versions of the hardware. Oh, speaking of Ghostbusters, and they're supposed to have a trailer for the new Ghostbusters tomorrow, right?
Oh, really? I had no idea.
there was an article about it, like in Vanity Fair or something like that, that I was reading, or I skimmed through it and I saw some like people's reaction to it, and they're talking about how like the events of the first movie, it's like almost become like a myth.
Oh really?
Like, yeah, it's like like where people, it's like a myth where people are not quite sure it happened. It's like, yeah, a giant marshmallow man walked through New York City, and like people are like, oh, there's no cell phones, it didn't happen. Like, come on, I don't think that that's the remotely.
I mean, it makes sense they would go in that direction, though. Like, you have to, like...
Well, they have to, but I mean, it's...
Like, to have, like, some disbelief in ghosts, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, after that happened... We got a $9.99 donation from Paul Sutton.
Oh.
Was playing the tourist and watching Ms. Maisel. And completely forgot it's Sunday night. That's my wife's probably watching this right now.
Was did Limited Run announce a physical run of the Tourist? I feel like that wasn't that in like their E3 or something, or am I making that up?
I don't even know what it is.
It's it was on man, there's something caught in my eye. It's like a voxely looking game that looks pretty fun on the Switch, and Digital Foundry did a thing on. They said it's like the most flawlessly locked 60 FPS thing ever.
Really? Huh. I just saw a screenshot of it. You know, I talked about this and kind of caught some flack for it, I guess, on Twitter yesterday for even tweeting this. But so after I finished Death Stranding, as I've mentioned before, after the announcement trailer of it years ago, I basically just didn't even pay attention to the game. Like, not paying attention to anything pre-release of games has just gotten to be so easy for me, because I just don't even... I hardly even follow gaming these days. So, like, I didn't watch any trailers, and then once I finished Death Stranding, I went and watched the launch trailer, and I cannot believe how much it spoils. It's crazy how much it spoils. And I tweeted that, and like, oh, just by saying that the trailer spoils that much of the game is basically a spoiler in itself.
Because people did watch it.
Yeah, and then they realize, like, oh, this is spoiling most of the game. And I totally understand that. I understand that point of view. I deleted the tweet afterwards. But I mean, they had so much so much restraint up to the release of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a spoiler if you're watching it and you know it's spoiling something. And by telling people that it's spoiling stuff,
But then if people did play it, then they'd be like disappointed that there wasn't much more to find out. I didn't watch. I mean, you told me about, but I didn't watch. I haven't watched the trailer. So
you've got to. After the stream, I want you to watch it because it's like an amazingly well done trailer, but it spoils so much that it's really unfortunate. I mean, it's like really went.
I mean, I feel like Kojima usually like has full control over his trailers, so.
Well, he like cuts the trailers himself usually, and
I know.
He says he did here too. I think that maybe it was like he didn't have like confidence in it or something like that. Or maybe he felt like he needed to put all this stuff in there to get people more excited about it. I don't know. Because
honestly, like I didn't really know what direction the plot was going to take in terms of like what it was going to explain and what it wasn't going to explain. And so like that in and of itself was just kind of a mystery for me, you know? So
yeah.
it was, I'm glad we didn't watch it.
I don't know.
I definitely like try to avoid watching trailers for like major games like up to a point. Like I'll watch like the E3 reveal and maybe one more, but like I'm not watching any more Final Fantasy VII stuff.
Right.
I mean, not that. I mean, obviously I know what the plot does, but I mean they're going to expand on the Midgar stuff so much. Like there is going to be a lot of surprises, and even the stuff that I do know, like I want to be surprised by what it looks like. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I do have a lot of interest in playing Police Knots. I still have not played it beyond like the very beginning of it.
So you're just in a Kojima mood now.
Yeah, I might as well. I mean, it's like the only one that I haven't played at this point, so I might as well. Although I feel like I gotta beat Hellfire first. I haven't played it since. So you're making it to that what you assume is the boss for this.
He's got to be the boss of the level.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Heckfire. Sorry. I have the Saturn version of Police Knots, but I want to play the translation.
Which platform is the translation for?
You can play it on PS1 and Saturn. I think it might be on other things too. But I have the I have the Saturn version. Because that's the version of the game I have too. I'm definitely lacking in enthusiasm tonight. It was my wife's work Christmas party last night, and I mean I don't drink. It just like messes me up, and I have been pretty rough all day because of it.
I'm surprised you would even be willing to go to your wife's Christmas party after watching Die Hard.
Oh, I mean, it's just at somebody's house. It wasn't even at a. It wasn't like an official Christmas party. It was a private Christmas party for all the people that the person had.
Actually, the person actually likes.
Yeah. But I'm just like such a ridiculous lightweight these days. It guarantees I'm just gonna be messed up the next day. The best part about it is when I feel like this is like I kind of take that as a go ahead to just eat whatever I want that day. I don't feel guilty about having pizza. We ordered pizza tonight. I'm like, God, sounds really good. Let's have that. I mean, as a tourist, what kind of game even is it?
I mean, I think it's like kind of exploration / Zelda-y.
Oh.
I think.
Aaron Wells is saying, I don't understand how all these lists put Chrono Trigger above FF6. I mean, I understand why. I missed a lot of the earlier conversation, but my impression, like even in retrospect, especially more so, I mean, FF6 is my favorite Final Fantasy.
Same.
But
not by much, but it is.
Right. But Chrono Trigger is just so well paced that there's like barely any downtime or fat in that game. And I love the idea of a sprawling adventure or an RPG of that magnitude that is 20 hours long.
I mean, I think
25 hours.
I mean, it was like my first like RPG that wasn't Mario or Pokemon. So, I want to say my time was closer to 30 hours the first time I played it, you know. But like I really took my time with it, you know.
Yeah, and you were figuring it out.
Yeah,
figuring out how games like that even work.
Right, but you know, so especially because of that, because it's like the game that I consider like the first like true, like, I mean, Mario is, you know, Mario RPG is an amazing game, but it's, you know, it's, I don't think liking Mario RPG necessarily means you would like the broader genre. And that's what I thought. I thought I wouldn't like it. But yeah, like, I don't know. Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger are really close for me. I agree. I don't know if I would pick one over the other. They're
yeah. I mean,
they're basically tied for me. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a Super Nintendo RPG that I like more than either of them.
Who do you think is the best FF6 character gameplay-wise, not story-wise?
Go-Go?
I'd say so. I like Sabin the most.
I mean, I like Go-Go because Go-Go is a second Sabin, so you can just give him Blitz. I didn't know. I mean, you do know that, right? Like, I didn't know that for a long time.
I didn't use him like at all.
No, but I mean, you can go into Go-Go's status screen. It's like, it's a weird function that only he has, or she. We don't know. You don't really know who Go-Go is. You go into Go-Go's status screen, and you can go over to the like the command menu, and you can then like select from a list of everyone's abilities and just give it to him. Like you can give him like Sabin's Blitz. Like Go-Go, like you can mimic anyone's ability, but you can also just straight up give him anyone's main command. Like anyone. Nice. Like you give him Edgar's tools, like you can just use them on command. So you've got Go-Go is your second Sabin.
I see. Well, I mean, I like my party, like my main party throughout the entire game was always, it was Terra, Edgar, Sabin, and Marc.
I don't know why, but I've always liked having Setzer in my main party. Like, I don't think, like, from a gameplay perspective, he's necessarily all that good, but, like, he just always seemed like an interesting character, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I need to replay it sometime.
You've only played through it one time?
No. I played through it probably 4 times.
Okay.
All that was, like, in high school. Like, I mean, I played through it several times, and
I mean, the last time I played it was that backloggery marathon.
Oh yeah. You did 24 hours, right? You
Yeah,
played it.
that was our first marathon.
Did it take you 24 hours? How long did it take you?
It was like 23 hours. It was like just barely made it.
That's crazy.
It was like 22, 23. And that file is backed up now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I actually pulled it off. I mean, yeah. I mean, in this age of speedrunning, that's nothing. But you know, that was an accomplishment for me. You know.
Oh, for sure. Because it wasn't like something that was talked about or celebrated very much at the time. I mean, when was that? That must have been like 2008, 2007,
2000.
Or maybe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2008. Pretty sure it was 2008. It's crazy because it felt like we had been streaming for longer when we did that.
Yeah, but that was your first marathon. Or
yeah, but we started streaming in 06. Like it was the summer, so. But it couldn't have been. I don't think it was. Well, you know, it could have been 09. I think it was 09. It was 09.
That would make sense too, because you had finished your backlog probably by then too.
Yeah, I think it was 09 because I'm pretty sure it was like it was when Drum and Lynn started dating.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had just been together for a little bit at that time. I'm doing terrible.
Well, sorry, okay, Boomer. A lot of people do like. I feel the stream overlay matches the aesthetic of the overall channel. Complements it.
Yeah. What's funny is I tried using this layout or a similar layout on the backloggery, and they really didn't like it.
Yeah.
So, it's
I don't think we could change it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm once my new setup is together, I'm planning to revamp it, but not stray.
It would be fun to do something where like some of the monitors are like at an angle, like the ones with you and I in them. Like if they're like at an angle, and like we could angle the video feed. If it's
can you actually do that in OBS? I don't know if you can do that.
But hopefully, if they do add that feature one day, we should do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to stray too far from it, but I mean, you know, I'll definitely like revisit it and, you know, consider making the windows a little bit bigger. I mean, for retro games, like the size of the window, like, I mean, it's not like you're really losing detail.
Right.
Like you can see every pixel in this game, even though I shrunk it down, except for the ones cut off by the overscan area, which, you know, I'd like to cut off
the widescreen
overscan
one
for fun.
The one with the widescreen TV, you get the game window is a lot bigger.
Yeah, it could stand to be even bigger, but you know, it was much smaller when I first made the layout.
The only way you could really do that is if
optimized it a bit.
change like the size in a way that maybe it would cut off portions of the monitor.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but I'm definitely going to revisit it to some extent. I really like the monitors I've made, so I don't think I'll necessarily like shoot new photos because I like what I've got. But
yeah,
I mean, I might shoot some new photos for the side ones, but for the main ones, I think I would keep the same photos because, you know, I doctored them up and, you know, to add like the names and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I want to change it. One thing I do not like about this layout is when I first made this layout, the position of our webcams, or at least my webcam, was more toward you know, I was facing the game window, and like the way where I've got my webcam now, it's not that anymore. And honestly, it's just laziness that I haven't like made a new layout, and also because I knew that I was going to be changing my layout, my setup eventually. So,
right,
I was just like, well, I'll just wait.
this saves your progress, right? If you wanted to resume the game.
Yeah. I'm just afraid that like if I don't give it a good push toward the end though, there's gonna be another like, cause like I first played this like 2 months ago maybe, and then I just didn't get around to finishing it.
Yeah, your now playing list is out of control. You should just like focus instead of starting new stuff. You should just focus on beating the stuff that's in your now playing.
I know, like I've had Dragon Quest Heroes sitting, in progress forever. It's normally like I would like restart a game, like if it'd been that long, but like, those are just such mindless games, it doesn't even matter. But I'll pick that game up again sometime. I do need to focus. I started Spider-Man like Tuesday night, I think, and like it was fine, but I just wasn't feeling that enthusiastic about it. And like then my carpet in my new room was installed on Wednesday, and like just like working on setting up that room's been like kind of all I've wanted to do anyway. So like I've just been like really excited about that room. So it's like I can't believe it's real. Like I should have done it so long ago, I wish I just like had the foresight to do it,
I see Sheepy Tina saying something about I'm kicking myself for not getting it on the last run of Carby. Is it sold out everywhere right now?
I mean, by last run, I assume you mean most recent and not like the final run. Yeah. Are you talking about Carby HDMI or Carby component? Once my GameCube is hooked up, I've got the Carby component, and once my GameCube is hooked up, I'll be using that. Mm-hmm. Because the GC video, it does look, the GC video analog does look better than the official Nintendo analog. It just does. Why do I have?
See, that's one of the reasons
I just have a hard time with these conveyor belts.
If my setup in the new place will allow me to have multiple instances of a console hooked up, I would like to always keep something hooked up using like official hookups.
Just so you can compare.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's going to be so easy for me though to like, if I need to like, because like it's going to be like so close to the G-SCART or the G-Comp that I can just like, I can hook up like another thing, no problem. And I'm pretty sure I'll have extra spaces on the G-Comp. One thing I'm honestly like kind of concerned about with your house, like, I mean, we don't necessarily both have to have wood paneling, but like the wood paneling was on clearance at Lowe's when I bought mine for the room.
I hope there's still some left. I mean,
I hope so. You should go like look like tomorrow if you can, because if not, like I've got 2 extra panels from the project. Like I bought a few extras like just in case we like screwed up like a cut.
Yeah.
I've got 2 extra panels, but like there's
the worst. I can always just find a way to get those from you.
Like, but how? Like when me and my dad. When me and my dad.
In the back of your car?
No, they would not fit in the back of my car. And when me and my dad like brought them back from Lowe's, like it was pretty dicey, like just because of the aerodynamics,
Well,
there's no way I can get those all the way to your house, on top of my car.
What we had to do with mine is just cut them. I cut them in half.
So yours are installed that way?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I had to cut them because they were is too wide to fit in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you necessarily need the full height anyway.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. It'd be too tall probably for the new.
That's true. I mean, could you like seriously? Could you possibly do it tomorrow? Because like they're like taking up space in my hallway, and I need to decide what to do with them pretty soon. Like,
well, don't get rid of them.
Well, where am I going to store them? Like,
okay,
I have very little storage space now that like the room that was my storage room, like I was just like going to donate them or something. Like like my priority would be ensuring that both of us, but like if I could cut them to a length that would fit in my car, then I will bring them to you sometime if you can't get them locally. But if you can get them locally, I think you should.
Right. Well, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go and check it out tomorrow.
Because yeah, they were on clearance and like there was like I needed 16 and I think they had like 22 when I got it, and they're gone now.
That many. Like two is what I'm gonna need, like max.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but my point is they're gone now.
Right, but I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can just pull down the ones that I already have.
Yeah, but I don't like. Did you use panel nails? Like the panel nails are like they're like serrated. Like they're not coming out.
These I've taken these out before. I mean, they're not crazy.
The nails that me and my dad use, like they ain't coming out.
I'll go and look, but maybe I can buy them and they would be able to deliver them.
Yeah, I mean that'd be ideal.
But I mean, if it's gonna cost like $80 to get them delivered,
nah. Well, I think you can rent the Lowe's truck for like $20 an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not even an hour. Like I think it only I don't think it costs that much to borrow their truck. Like I don't know if like Home Depot has a similar product. Like I think most people like the default hardware store that they think of is Home Depot, but like it's kind of much less convenient for me. Like Lowe's is headquartered near me, so.
I didn't look too closely at Home Depot. I was just there I was there last week because we're getting a new dryer for the house, for the new house. Is a double stack, and the washer in it does not work anymore. It's not worth bringing it. But I was able to schedule that delivery for the day that we move in.
Oh, cool. Maybe if they have the paneling, maybe you could add that to your delivery.
See if I can add that to the delivery. That might be funny.
I mean, I don't know if it would look exactly the same, but I mean, there are other wood panels, but they aren't like the same look,
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, I guess you can get another type of paneling, but it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be the exact same thing, but I mean, maybe having a different style would be good. Maybe, but I mean, maybe
also having the ability to be pretty consistent is also good too. So
yes,
I mean, but with my new room, there's going to be plenty of wood paneling going around on the show, whether it's in B-roll or not.
It's pretty brown in there. Pretty brown.
I mean, that's my aesthetic though, I love it.
It's pretty brown. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, because the table that I use is different texture than the one you use. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, what it also would be kind of cool if I had enough space was to get 2 panels of that, and then maybe even get a panel of a different kind.
Yeah, originally, like, before I realized I wanted it to be like a room for actually playing games, like originally I was just thinking about finishing the room to be like extra shooting space. I was thinking like one half of the room wood paneling, the other half like they make like a brick style paneling.
Ugh. Like fake bricks.
Yeah, but I mean, for a out of focus background, I thought it might be okay. But I mean, it was just a thought. But then, like when I changed my idea about what I wanted to use the room for, I threw that idea out.
You've been stuck on this level for a while.
I know. We're almost at the end of the game. Like, it's a long level, and I think this is only the second time I've actually gotten to this guy, who is definitely the last boss of the level. He has to be.
Aaron Welsh donated $2. It says, let's donate $1 for every minute Try doesn't say like.
Well, not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
I'll just talk the whole time.
Sorry, that's just the way my brain goes. I have a filler word brain. That's why we're scripted. And that's why the MLiG minis are cut down. Although I feel like with the MLiG minis, like I'm just like able to get my head in the space for it a little better. Like I just said it. I know what I'm gonna say. I'm sure I say like, during those a lot as well, but I consider that part of natural conversation anyway, I just use filler words. I can't really help it.
You will, if you start thinking about the things people say over and over again during conversations, it's gonna drive you crazy.
Yeah.
What is the thing that people say a lot? There's um's definitely one of them. Is one of them.
Yeah. So.
Dustin Kramer donated $2 and is asking, "What is your favorite Christmas song?" What is your favorite Christmas song?
Not necessarily like the lyrics or anything, but I really like the music of Carol of the Bells. Like it doesn't really feel Christmassy because it feels kind of dark. Like I have often thought it almost sounds like an RPG battle theme. But it's, I don't know, it's a cool tune.
I always like the Springsteen version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. One of my favorites. No, this is not on the 3DO.
I've definitely had some like newfangled versions of some classic Christmas songs stuck in my head that I've just heard in restaurants or stores recently. Not necessarily that I liked them, I just heard them and they got stuck in my head.
I'm not a big Christmas music fan. My wife is crazy about Christmas music. She loves it. I'm like, no, it doesn't really do much for me.
I mean, I grew up being extremely fond of it. I don't go out my way to listen to it, but it's definitely one of those very ingrained things, I guess.
Yeah. Ben Brody with a $2 donation asks, "What is your favorite cut of steak minus ribeye?"
I gotta be honest. I'm not
A steak connoisseur.
I'm not a steak connoisseur at all. I mean, I'm a well done man, which I'm sure is just ghastly to some people. But like,
What?
Well done. Like I like steak. I don't eat it very often because it's more expensive than is worth it to me. But I like it. But like I just like, I mean, you know, I won't if I like push my fork into it and like blood is practically running out of it, then but like if there's a little pink inside, I'm not like gonna send it back or nothing. But like it's not like a little bit of pink. Like it's not like I can taste what supposedly just makes that godly. I mean, it just don't do nothing for me. So
I like mine like medium well.
So yeah, like I like steak. I enjoy steak. If steak was a lot cheaper, I would eat it a lot more often. But I'm not picky about it. I'll tell you what I love is Texas Roadhouse has what do they? I think they're just pork chops. You can get 2 of them, and like, oh my gosh, like the flavor is amazing, and the sauce that they give you to dip it in, oh, it's so good. And it's like I would rather have that than steak, and you can get 2 of them, and they're cheaper. They give you two big honking pork chops that taste delicious as compared to one tiny steak that you paid more for, and it was good, but probably no better.
Well, I personally don't have any like particular. I like my steaks medium well.
But do you actually like the medium well because you do, or do you think that it's just like so ingrained that you can't have a well done steak that you just don't like? If you had a well done steak, do you think it would actually taste at all appreciably worse to you than a medium well?
I like it. I
kind of like the burnt
when you
taste.
say that, it sounds like you don't think that anybody can actually like anything other than having it well done.
Well, I mean,
do you actually like the kind of steak that you like, or you just?
Well, the only reason I'm questioning it is because you keep saying the whole I'm not that passionate about food thing. So
right, but I mean, I've had steaks in different ways, and medium well is the one that I like it the most.
Yeah, but I am not the slightest bit picky about steak. I like the taste of steak, but I would not pay. I don't want to pay steak prices for steak, so I'd rather just get 2 big honking pork chops and dip it in a delicious sauce and pay less money. That's just me.
That does make me sad that I never got a chance to go. For all the years living in New York City, we never went to Peter Luger's, which is like a $100 steak place.
Oh gosh, I would never. I mean, there's.
What if it's like the best thing you've ever had?
For $100, there is. I cannot.
There's a reason we didn't go.
I cannot imagine some food tasting good enough to be worth $100. I just cannot imagine. There's just no way.
Oh, well.
Like you know me, I like food. I like to eat. Well, ain't nothing that's worth
Well,
100.
your mind might be blown.
I mean, my food tastes are not, you know, highfalutin by any means. You know, I like good food, but I'm not a fancy food guy. I feel like fancy food is paying a lot of money for less food. They don't taste no better.
Or you've never had fancy food, so you don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, I ain't been to no $100 steak place, but you know, I worked at a university for a long time, and I had to go to a lot of very boring functions where they were entertaining people that they want to you know, donate money, right? So I had to go to a lot of fancy functions, shoot video, you know, so I got a meal out of it. It's like, you know, they tried to make it a fancy thing. It's like, it's fine, but it's not. I'd rather go to Bojangles. Texas Roadhouse. Give me that delicious pork chop.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, for me, like, I guess we don't really, like, considering it now, I mean, I guess we don't really go to, like, many, like, chain-type places like that. I mean, like, there's a Flip Daddy's, like, down the road from here that we'd like to go to. It is, I mean, maybe we'll go, like, every, like, few months, or maybe, like, twice a year, maybe. But I guess, I don't know, if we're gonna eat out, we'll get, like, Taco Bell or something. Because I guess a lot of that comes with having kids, is because most of the time you don't want to go and spend all this money on food, because, like, chances are the kids are just gonna be like, I don't really want it anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like a safer bet to go to McDonald's, because at least they know what they like there, and then they're going to, I mean, really the only thing that they care about is the Happy Meal toy anyways.
Right.
Flip Daddy's is a burger place.
I don't have them around here.
I do want to try. Yeah, I do. I see Sean Quinn's talking about the Impossible Burger. I am very curious.
I hate these conveyor belts. I'm terrible on it.
It's cool to see that the Impossible Burger has like become like a big thing. And the Andy W doesn't agree. It's like chemicals and aftertaste.
I've never tried a not meat burger, but I have a hard time like getting my head into a place where I'm up for it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you have other kind of burgers other than beef burgers? Have you had like buffalo burger or burger or anything?
I may have had a buffalo burger before.
Or bison burger?
Yeah, I might have, but I can't remember. I've never had like a bean burger. Like I don't really like beans. I mean, I guess I've heard it doesn't necessarily taste like beans, but like I'll eat beans and certain things, but they are not a favorite food.
You're not a big chili fan, then?
Oh, I do like chili is one of the few foods that I like beans in. Yeah. Well, like if I go to a Mexican restaurant, I usually ask for, you usually get a side of beans and rice with almost anything you order, right? So I usually ask for no beans and double rice. And most places will do it. Actually, I haven't run across a place that said no. I don't know if it's an unusual request or not, but...
Backyard burgers. I have not had backyard burgers.
I have not had that either. I don't know if it's... There was one not too far from here that closed. I don't know how widespread it is. There's a, as far as I know, mostly southern chain called Cookout that I think is similar. You went to Cookout when you were here one time.
Yeah.
You get a lot of food for really cheap there. I don't go there very often though. It's okay. It's not like a favorite, but once in a while I'm in the mood for it. There's a North Carolina chain. I mean, they might go a little outside of North Carolina, but it's originally from Raleigh. Called Highway 55, and it is. I love it. It's very much like a diner style burger, so it's nothing too fancy, but it just something about the taste of it is just like they put some sort of seasoning on their meat that's just like so good. And the one near me closed like maybe a year ago, so it's been a bit of a bummer.
Andy W says I was 160 over 90 blood pressure and ate only meat and it went down. Carbs are the devil. Yeah, that's my blood pressure's always been really low.
Really?
That's one of the reasons. I mean, not low, but I mean it's been like kind of dead on. I've never had blood pressure, like issues or anything like that.
My family, or at least my mom's side, has traditionally bad blood pressure.
Dustin Kramer. Did I miss a donation from Dustin Kramer? I apologize. Yes. I saw an guy sidetracked on this. Dustin Kramer had a $2 donation. Thank you. He says, I just got a PSVR and I need recommendations. Well, first and foremost, you got Astrobot, you got to get Astrobot. Like, Astrobot is the game of the platform.
It's incredible.
Super Hot VR is pretty cool. I'm really excited to try out the Ace Combat levels and Ace Combat 7. I'm excited and kind of scared at the same time to try it out. And I'm considering getting a flight stick just because I think that it would be fully immersive then.
Can you use a PlayStation Move like a flight stick in that mode?
Probably not. But I mean, I think it'd be cool just to get like the flight stick with the throttle and everything.
There's one that's supported
they're like,
with
like,
that
like
game.
$70, and I wonder if there's any other game you can use it in. Although Ace Combat, it might be worth it just to even play the normal game with it as well. Resident Evil 7, playing that in VR. I see that Jason WB just mentioned that. Definitely worth playing. It's exhausting.
You played like the second half of the game normal.
I did, just because it is so stressful.
I mean, I played it before I had a VR, but I played I've only played one of the DLCs so far, and I played the Chris DLC in VR.
Did you play Moss, or have you not played Moss yet?
I have not. Although I saw most of the game because on Backloggery stream, Lynn wanted to play through it.
That's right. Vanessa, that's the one that I want to get. That's one I've been looking at. The HOTUS flight stick. There's like a Ace Combat 7 specific version. Let's see what it is. Last time I looked, it was like $65 or $70. See what it is. Down. It's $75. And it's the Thrustmaster. Then there's also a $200 one.
Jeez.
The Hori one is $200. The one that's 75 though is the Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown edition. I mean, it looks cool. Like, I think it'd be awesome.
Drum was saying that he I saw it, but I never touched it. Like there's like at Best Buy there's this controller it's like got demo out in the PS4 section. You know, it's like some like, you know, elite controller equivalent for PS4. It's like a third-party one, and it's like $200. He's like, he put his hands on it. He's like, it felt terrible. He's like, I wouldn't pay $20, let alone $200. like I now I'm curious. Next time at Best Buy, I want to try that. Like I don't know what the deal with that is.
Andy W says human brain size increase with us cracking rotten skulls open to eat brains. Brain is like 90% cholesterol. Plants have no cholesterol. The only reason I wanted to read that out loud is because I always say to say to my son that line from Planet Death, where I said, "I'm going to eat your brain and gain your knowledge." Have you ever seen Planet Terror? It's like Planet Terror and Death Proof.
Oh, that's the
Grindhouse.
Yeah, I have not.
You haven't seen either one of them?
Mm-mm. I want to.
Oh man, Planet Terror is pretty amazing. The Death Proof is. My impression, it wasn't great the first time I saw it, but it's gotten better every time that I have watched it. I've come back to it multiple times over the years. Eat your brain and gain your knowledge. I mean, if I could use the Ace Combat flight stick with other systems, I mean, I have a bunch of Ace Combat games. I think in a roundabout way, I think I might have all the mainline entries, except for the first two, or first three. I don't have any of the PS1 ones, but I have, like, I think I have 0, 4, and 5 on the PS2. Wait, what was 6 on? Was 6 on the PS3? Will it work on a PS2? Okay. If I could use it in other games, I would totally do it. Okay, 6 is on 360. So will the newest play stick work on that? Work on the 360? And is there other games that it works on? It's so stupid. Probably my favorite flight simulator type game, because I really like the Descent Free Space. When I was in college, I used to play it all the time, just sent free space, and listen to the Macross Plus soundtrack. I was playing it. I had a play stick for that. It's long gone. The thing is, I think I had a Thrustmaster for the PS3, and I really wanted to use it on Afterburner Climax, but it didn't work. I got it from Goodwill, and like I think I got rid of it. It might have been the PS3 version of that same stick. It doesn't really matter at this point. I did not play Overload. I just really liked Descent Free Space 2. And I really like the Macross Plus soundtrack, which I don't think has gotten a Blu-ray release, as far as I know. It's been a while since I've seen it. But specifically, I'd always listen to the song that plays like halfway through, like the second half, when he's like flying into the planet, and like there's all the satellites. He blows up all the satellites. He's like going into orbit. Justin Kramer with another $2 donation. Thank you. He says, what is your favorite Star Wars game of all time? Of all time.
Let me think on that after I take one more attempt at this fight.
Okay. I mean, probably Rogue Squadron 2, but Super Star Wars 1 would probably be a close second.
It's tough.
Is that a game over?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give up for tonight.
Yeah. But you can return to that level at any time, right? I hope.
Yeah, I can. I wanted to see. I don't know why the lack of home button is such a deal breaker for you with this controller. Like, I just leaned forward. Like, before the stream, I turned on my Pro controller and I just like leaned over and pressed home on that to go here.
Yeah,
no big deal.
I mean, that would be fine if my Switch was that close to me.
Well, my Switch isn't that close to me. I did on the Pro controller, which is right there.
Oh, I see.
Is there, man, you know, I started playing Giga Wrecker Alt, and I didn't think it looked that good from the trailer, but I just gave it a chance because Game Freak, and I don't like it that much. Hat in Time also don't like. I'm trying to think what would be a good game to test any diagonals in. Is there something on the?
Well, you could probably test diagonals in the like River City Ransom or something like that.
Yeah, but I feel like a 8-way shooting would be more like informative. Let's see.
Paul Sutton says, pick up the Final Fight Arcade 1-Up on Black Friday and finally put it together. What a POS. We were just talking about like the scaling in it earlier. Oh, it's not great. But apparently that is one of the uses the older hardware, and since they became more popular, they've made the hardware a lot better. So newer releases are a lot better. Like
wait. So when you say new release, I thought you said there was a new version of Final Fight that was better, but there's not.
What? No. Final Fight was the old hardware revision. I guess
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
newer ones have, because I think that they cheaped out on some of the hardware on the early ones because it was they weren't expecting them to be that popular,
Mm-hmm.
but now they really became more popular, so they put better hardware in them. So a lot of the stuff is better emulated in newer ones.
I wonder if wait, no, I don't think, does Link's Awakening work with the D-pad? I don't think it does. Oh, why am I having a hard time picking a game?
You could try Axiom Verge. You can, yeah, it's running and
doesn't that
shooting.
game require sticks?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I guess. I don't like, I played like an hour of Axiom Version, was just not feeling it.
Final Fight, as far as I know, is on the first run of the machines. It's on the first hardware revision. At least that's what I was told. I can't. Okay, Final Fight was second gen, maybe third gen is better. Because I know that the Ninja Turtles and stuff that's out now is supposed to be pretty good. But I mean, I've never seen them running in person. But Dry was talking about the scaling, about how the shimmering is crazy on it.
Yeah, it's possibly the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, it's really bad shimmering. But I mean, we were asked, would you be interested in a review unit, and I wouldn't have said yes if there were not a game that would be interesting for us to cover in some other capacity. Because when we're offered like review samples of things, like, we're only really interested if it like enhances like a topic that we're already kind of interested in.
Right.
So we had been talking about doing a best way to play Final Fight.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that would be awesome to include that. So I asked for Final Fight. I wasn't really interested in, the arcade one-up as a whole, but Final Fight, that's a game I like a lot. I'd love to have a cabinet to represent it, even if it's not a real cabinet. And and like I said before, it's fun to play. Like, it's just kind of fun to like play it in that faux arcade sort of setting. But the scaling is bad. Yeah, I played an hour. I don't know. I was just having this vibe like, why am I not just playing Metroid?
Oh, did you try to play through it and you just didn't like it? Or did you?
Yeah, I mean, like a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't love this game either. I can appreciate it, but I just didn't really care too much for it.
Okay, see. I don't know. I'm not having trouble holding that diagonal at all.
Okay.
Like it, and that's also crouching diagonals. It feels spot on. It feels spot on. And like I said, I played through all of River City Girls with it. So yeah.
That's good. I mean, I never thought about the just using another controller for the home button.
Yeah, just set it next to you on a table,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like you have to access it that often necessarily,
Right.
So yeah, no big deal at all. I love this controller. I mean, I have not played a game yet where I had to use ZR and ZL, because in River City Girls, ZR
yeah, well, I wouldn't
and
want
R.
to use the ZR or ZL.
Well, but I mean, like, R and ZR and L and ZL do the same thing in River City Girls, but I would consider trying it for a game that had different functions on ZR and ZL.
If it was like the access a menu or something like that, I could understand.
Yeah. But if it was like, deflect with your shield or something like that, then no.
Totally. I mean, like I'll probably use that to play through The Secret of Mana.
Yeah, but if it wants me to like if it was just like a weapon select or scroll through like menus or something, I wouldn't mind. They aren't that bad. It's not like they're an uncomfortable reach, but no, they are not action buttons. No.
Like I would definitely use it on the system. I just didn't I was annoyed with the thought of having to hit home on the system to do that, but I didn't even think about using a Pro controller.
Yeah.
So it felt like a deal breaker.
I mean, I didn't even think of that until just now, to be honest. It's just that my controller charging station is 2 feet away from me. So
right.
I
it'll be interesting, like what my setup is, where I put everything in the new house.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, even before I just now did that, that was not a deal breaker for me. I mean, using a Super Nintendo controller, like an official Super Nintendo controller, that does to me feel better than the 8-bit does. There are so many games I have on Switch where this would be like the ideal controller.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of, I mean, you saw my list. Like, I've got a lot of, kind of classic style games on here. A lot of side scrollers. A lot of stuff. I need to finish Impossible Lair. Because I really want to be on my end of year video, so I need to make the time for it.
Yeah, I gotta start making my list. I mean, I have a lot of that written.
Do you know if they have ever updated the Super Nintendo app? Let's look.
They have an update coming really soon, as like Star Fox 2 and a couple of other things.
Oh, anything else?
But you got to go into the menu and hit update. You got to update it manually, I think.
Oh, really? That didn't happen with.
Or it just happened in the background.
Hey, what wasn't this on the left here? Wasn't that red before?
Wait, is it? I can't see it's cut off on the screen.
Oh, I have been playing other games and didn't even think to switch to the other layout. Like, didn't that used to be red? I wonder if the color scheme changes because I'm using this controller.
Yes, it does. When you use that, see how it has the controller next to your icon up there?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's cool.
It becomes Super Nintendo controller.
I was disappointed that the Switch menu icon is red, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Could always test diagonals with... Oh, I don't have a suspend point in here. Did I ever even save my game? Oh, is the Streamlabs somehow?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like, I think you have it behind the...
I don't, though.
Huh.
I don't. It's the very top thing on... That's really weird. Why?
I don't know.
Because it's... Oh, wait, no, the ticker is lower there. How did that happen? How did that happen? Whatever. Yeah, man, I don't know, these diagonals feel pretty great to me. I mean, it's possible it could vary from unit to unit, but
I just saw a post about...
I think people are just like thinking way too hard about D-pads lately sometimes, you know?
Probably.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're well worth putting under scrutiny, but I almost wonder if people are like looking for problems where like maybe they would have ignored it on older controller because they just didn't think about it back then, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll get mine now. I mean, I just haven't used that or the NES ones for anything. They're just like still in their packaging. Hopefully they'll have more for sale though. I'd like to get an extra one, or at least one extra one.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Anyways.
I don't know if I can. Oh, I think my Pro controller got turned off. Oh, I guess maybe because I set to two players. Oh, it fell at some point. How did that happen? I've got here. Let me go to the dual camera. I've got. I can't totally get it in frame because it's plugged in, but I've got this this Joy-Con charging dock that actually fits the NES controllers because it doesn't have like a base that sticks out, because these are longer than normal Joy-Cons. They'll work on a switch on the dock. You know, because there's no base, there's nothing below it, but like on the other like standalone Joy-Con charging docks, it doesn't work. So this one, it does work with them. And there is, there's a dongle for a Pro controller, you know, and it's got like the charging metal there. So I was like, oh, it'd be awesome to charge this on the same dock as the NES Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you plug this in. It's, you know, obviously it's form-fitting to a real Pro controller, but, you know, it's not exactly there. But hey, it's not in the way like this, you know, and it works.
Right.
And it fits so perfectly. Like, it just boom. Doesn't that look amazing? The problem is right underneath the bottom of where the controller touches, there is a little button, and it's relying on the weight and shape of the Pro controller to push that in. And then you probably can't really see it, but there are these little prongs that stick out when that's pushed in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to, you know, wrangle up a way, even from just using like electrical tape to just like hold the button down. But like it just didn't work. Like, I think I would maybe need to put something under the tape to hold it even further down. But then when I think I did get something to hold it down. I can't remember what it was. But like then the controller didn't, like, because the prongs were already out, it didn't just rest so perfectly on there. But I'm like determined to figure out a way to hack this thing to work with the SNES controller. Like there's gotta be a way to make it like reliably make that charge connection. But what I've done, I've just like, if I needed to charge it while playing, I've just like plugged it into the USB on the front of my AV receiver.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That's a good approach.
Because it's just right there, you know?
Yeah. How much is the MS Elite 2 gonna be? It's not like $200. I just can't bring myself, no matter how good it feels, I can't bring myself to spend $200 on it.
I mean, it's got those like extra like things, button triggers, whatever underneath.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
sure it's awesome, but I mean,
it's
if
like, well, yeah,
this,
but it's like only if you're like into like competitive gaming or something. Like,
yeah.
and if you are, you're probably not a controller person anyway. So I don't really know what the market for. Controllers have too many buttons as it is. Like, I don't want to like optimize my game to put like extra functions on those. Like, I don't even know how it works. Like, are you like doing a system menu thing where you're saying, oh, this is like right trigger and left trigger at the same time or something? Like, I don't even know how it works, but like I just have zero interest in adding more buttons. Like, we've got enough buttons. We got enough buttons. We got enough.
Mm-hmm.
If you think we need more buttons, make your game simpler. It's too complicated.
Well, they're just for additional functions. I mean, using the things underneath to reload and stuff like that.
Well, but you can reload with the square button or the X
Are
button.
like already existing functions.
But why would you not just use, I mean, I guess, oh, you don't have to take your thumb off the right stick anymore.
No?
I have no, I mean, I'm sure it's cool for someone, but I just don't care. I love the regular Xbox One controller. I think it's pretty great.
Paul Sutton says, I scoffed at the Elite One because of the price. Then I tried one. Now I have two.
Well,
I mean, that's a pretty good endorsement right there.
I kind of want to do like just the regular. I mean, there's no point at this point in the generation. Like, maybe I'll do one for next generation, but I kind of do want to do one of the custom colored Xbox controllers where you can use like their design tool on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a little bit of a premium for it, but it seems like a fun thing to do. But
Totally.
the thing is, like, I tried the tool and I just couldn't quite make a controller that I really liked the look of, that stood out in any way from just a regular stock controller. So
yeah. All right. Well, I'm about ready to turn in here.
I guess we've been yammering on a little too long. So,
yeah, but in normal time, feel good tomorrow.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for everyone who donated and just had a good time.
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't finish. I'll have to hold myself to keep at it.
That's right. And we'll see you with a new episode, like either late this week or early next weekend.
All right.
Sometime next weekend. We'll see what happens.
All right. Later.
Anyways. All right. Good night.